Welcome to Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki, where inspiration meets action. This is your spot to grow, level up, and lead with fresh ideas. From sales to service, from frontline teams to executives, we're dropping weekly knowledge and insight to keep your store sharp, relevant, and profitable. Let's get into it. Well, welcome back, everybody, to Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki. I'm your host, Jen Suzuki. Hello. So today I want to just get into this topic that has completely reshaped how dealerships attract car buyers through social media and leveraging AI. And I got two powerhouse guests with me. John Spinoza, this is my buddy, my friend. Julian, I don't want to say this the wrong way. I know Julian, just tell me, how do you say your last name?
Just try it. Most people get it wrong. Builes.
Oh, almost.
Damn it. I know. Okay, I knew it.
You got to say it with that Latin flair.
Right.
It's not that hard. The two vowels throw people off sometimes.
I'm still working on rolling my R's, okay? Anyway. Anyways, I find that this duo here, they are the powerhouses behind Cruise Control. And I want you to know, John has been a longtime friend of mine. I have trusted him with my own social media, my video production. If you've seen any videos, it's from John. And he's helped me build products. I've just watched firsthand how his strategies have helped dealers, including myself. We have mutual clients, and I've just watched him help everybody stay relevant, stay generating leads through their social media platforms. So Cruise Control, it's just going to take this whole thing to the next level. And now we're trying to plug this thing into dealership CRMs and creating content that actually gets engagement popping, leveraging the AI that everybody's got now to communicate with car buyers. And it's all trying to do things where dealers don't have to lift their fingers too much. So let me just introduce you guys. Welcome to my show.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you having us on. Yeah, we're excited.
What a great intro. I don't know if I can top that energy level, but I'll try my best.
Okay.
You're good, you got this.
Everybody always says that about me, but I really enjoy this, and I love bringing guests on that can school me. I do schooling all the time in the dealerships, through the classes I hold, and so I always like to learn something new. And quite frankly, I'll just be really upfront with you. Social media is not my wheelhouse. This is not my expertise. I don't want to pretend. I'm here to learn today, and I want you to be thinking about our front line too. These guys are, still they're much better at it than I am. But John, maybe I've watched you help dealers, including myself, and it's keeping relevant, staying creative in your content, and injecting video into everything. What's the biggest shift that you're seeing now in how dealerships should be showing up online compared to maybe last year?
Well, definitely social media is always changing, and that's an important thing to follow the trends. Right now, a big shift. I see a lot of dealers pushing all their staff to create their own social media accounts and post on their own personal social media accounts. Some of these are accounts that they create in the dealership, that the dealership is saying, hey, create this account and post on it. Right. Some of them are utilizing their personal accounts, which could be good and it could be bad depending on what they're posting on their time off on the dealership, on the same account. So for us, we're seeing a big push with social media on the personal level of all the staff that could actually turn out to be a bad move on some levels and a great move on other levels. Some of the reasons is because if they're creating the accounts, especially under the dealership's email address, the dealership could be liable if they're posting stuff that has copyright issues, like songs that are popular, images that are popular, that are very well known from movies and stuff like that. It could cause backlash. And we're seeing a lot of artists starting to sue for misuse of the music and stuff that's being used. So there's ways to do it and there's ways not to do it. So you have to be very, very careful on the way you kind of go about utilizing staff in social media.
So is that what you guys recommend? Is that because I see what you're saying. I didn't even know this was a thing. I see a lot of personal use of social media to drive their own business. And this is what we always say, what I would say most people are being told and schooled on is brand yourself, create a brand. And that's all part of that that vibe. But you
Yeah.
say, sometimes they're creating like a new account that's for the sales team to use as a team or individually, but they're leveraging the store's email on that account, making that approved to post work stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so you got to be careful. So one of my biggest departments in spin management, where we're creating content, social media content, videos, is compliance. I have a big compliance team. We submit to the co-ops. We make sure everything is brand approved. We make sure the fonts are right. We make sure we're not going to get a strike. And we're also making sure we're not going to get hit by copyright infringements for images and for music, which is big. Eminem just sued a dealership for millions and millions of dollars for using his music on their social media, and he's suing Meta. And there's a lot of other big artists that are going to follow suit. So we have to be super careful, and it's a lot easier to find that stuff in the algorithms now. So the more we're aware of that and we're kind of pushing away from that, you can find sites that you can get music, or you can use a big editing tool that people are using is CapCut, So you can find music that is not going to give you copyright infringements on CapCut, utilize that for your videos, and then post it, and you're not going to have these same issues. Because once you post it on your page and you collaborator tag, which a lot of them are collaborator tagging the dealerships, now you're worried about copyright infringements for artists, but you're also worried about getting strikes and issues on your co-op. That means that you can lose money back from reimbursements. That means you can, 3 strikes, it's not a joke. You don't want to get those strikes.
Yeah.
They scare me.
I have a question for you guys on the same line, because I want to see what you guys think. It's a bit controversial, but I've heard both sides of the coin. Some people say it's better to have professional looking content in your social media as a business or as an image. And some others say just make it natural, make it more laid back. Where do you guys stand on that?
I think both is important. Go ahead.
No, you go, John, and then I'll follow.
I'm really curious to know what you say first, though, please.
I want to know. I have my opinion.
She said, I hate. She came in strong. I need to know what she's going to say.
I hate overproduced videos. I hate it. I can't stand seeing overproduced videos, because I think that I think we've evolved out of there. Listen, we all do a lot of scrolling. What grabs your attention? The natural stuff, the real stuff, the thing that's flawed. When I see people, that's flawed, like yes, it's not like crisp. It's not produced. It's just I'm shooting a TikTok, For me, I find it's a little bit more attractive because it's what I'm using. So that's what I struggle with. Now, listen, I'm not an expert. I am not. That's just you asked my opinion. That's what I'm telling you. Because I like to see.
But you consume the content, so your opinion matters, because many people may behave like you and may feel like you when they see content. So I think it's valid.
Yeah. Okay, John, the expert. John, come on, go.
I mean, my opinion, I think both are important. I think we should be on social media a lot. I think they should be in the dealerships making that content. And I also think that we should be producing good, high quality content that we can use and market to customers. So I think a good combination. I think a dealership that utilizes my services as spin management, where we're going in and creating content and creating high quality content. My goal is to provide like full commercial quality, high quality content that at a social media budget price, right? Which we're doing a very good job at. However, the dealerships that do a combination of that homegrown content, they're in the store saying, hey, this is, Joe, he just bought a car from us. What do you think, Joe? And he says what his piece, and they just post it right away. The combination of that stuff is what's really kicking butt, And a lot of those clients, they'll create that content and send it to me, and I'll still post it. Or I might add their end card or add their logo or something like that. But I don't over polish that stuff. If they send me like a delivery photo, we'll add like a delivery frame, stuff like that. But it's not like highly polished stuff. But then the stuff that we're going in and creating, where we're kind of looking at it like a commercial.
Yeah, you're branding a dealership. This is a multi-million-dollar brand. These guys are going to be fans of this because this is their reputation. This is what they're known for. They want crisp, high-quality work being put out there.
Yeah. So a combination of it, in my opinion. Yeah.
I'll add one more thing. I think both you guys have really valuable points of view. The last thing I'll say is that I think you need to have a voice. And if you don't have one, you need to find it. And you need to identify who you are and why you do what you do. and find your communication style that fits that voice and that purpose and that brand, right? So I don't know if I would feel comfortable, for example, if Apple launched a laid back video in the bathroom. I don't know, or
That's a
somebody
little
doing,
deep, bro.
but
It's not
I
on
know,
brand.
Yeah.
right. But then if someone that I follow, like if a lady does that, I'm totally cool with that, and I feel like she's being intimate with her followers, and that
Right.
would feel more natural. So I think it just depends. It's so context dependent and brand dependent as well. But I think
I
both are
100% agree.
valuable.
And I have some clients that are
Hmm.
high-end car brands that do not want home, like,
Yeah,
it
I
looks
imagine.
scruffy and
Nope.
you know the
Yep.
audio sucks. Like they want that to look pristine every time. So I that's why I highly recommend a good combination of the two. Yeah, for sure.
I really like what you're saying, because I like this. I think that's a smart approach. Plus, it gives you an option to see what's actually working, because you can't shelf an idea that's actually working in social media in general, you know, that homegrown stuff. You can't shelf it just because you think, oh, that's not right. That's not our look. You know, hey, we're trying to stay in business. And so you've got to have an A, B, and strategy. It's almost like an A, B strategy. You get an opportunity to see what's actually working. Because a lot of times I think we just use gut instinct to make choices. And it's like, well, where's the data at? You know, like where do we see the results? So speaking of where you're coming from on this, you know, with what the content looks like or how you shoot it, what's a total waste of time that you see that dealerships are actually doing right now? What would you say that's a waste of time?
That's a great question. I think a waste of time is not doing social media more than anything else.
Wait, is there people
and I
out
see
there
some
not doing
dealerships
social media
that are not, wildly
Come
enough.
on.
Or a waste of time is posting just OEM content and just
or
letting
just customer testimonials or vehicle walkarounds? That's so boring.
Yeah, like like if you're only posting one thing, if you're only posting your Labor Day, you know, deals, then you're posting your 4th of July deals. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking at your page. So I think an oversaturation of OEM content or just flyers or just not doing anything at all. I mean, I guess doing OEM content or flyers is better than not utilizing your social media. But, you know, overall, not doing like in-store content is not helping. Yeah.
And what do you mean exactly by in-store content? Because tell me what the posts are that actually grab the attention from car buyers, the in-store content. What do you mean?
So you're saying what grabs the attention of car buyers? Social media is constantly changing. Every day, every week, things change. And like at the drop of a dime, my whole team changes direction and we pivot all the time. And we're like, this is what's working. Stop doing that. Do this. And everybody literally stops in their seats and continues to do it in the other direction. And what I'm seeing a lot of is these trending videos and stuff like to catch your eye. And then a combination of that with the informative videos, stuff about inventory. People like to see cars, right? People like to see, I call them virtual tours for cars. They're kind of like a music video of the vehicle. We showcase the car to music and we cut and edit the video to like work with the music. That stuff's all working very well. The stuff that's trending that are fun gags or dances, all that stuff works. But the hardest thing is to get the staff involved. The staff. Yeah.
It's got to be, because nobody listen. I do this. I have what you guys do. I do something similarly in my classes because I'm always looking for engagement from car buyers through their email and text follow-up. So I'm always promoting, you got to do video. You got to do this week. I was training on 10, 15-second videos for ghosts. You know what I mean? And just it's constantly just trying to be ahead of the competitors, stand out in the crowd. And I find a lot of times when I say, okay, record, everybody freezes up. Nobody wants to be on the camera. If you try to give them a skit or something, everybody, like, you know, they scatter. It's hard to find somebody to get involved. And then there's other stores I go into and everybody's involved. It's a vibe. They literally do it together. They're having the greatest time of their lives. These tend to be higher performing stores, you know, believe it or not, because they've hired people that actually that have a TikTok following, that want to do these sort of things, you know, in between selling cars.
Yeah, I think overall, social media is the basic, most important form of brand awareness now. it's just getting your name out there, getting your face out there, getting your staff out there. Unfortunately, a lot of dealerships have high turnover rate. So one of my biggest things is making sure all the dealerships have video and photo release forms, and they have it in there in packets when somebody first signs up for the job.
Nice.
When they first get their employee packet, I make all my clients put it in their packets, so there's no question. That also sets the bar and the tone that everybody's going to be on video, everybody's going to be on social media, and if there is turnover, we don't have to delete the video. You don't have to worry about, losing content that you posted on your social media. Brand awareness, though, in general, this is like the top of the funnel, right? You could put something out there and you can boost it. You can get a little traction on the boost. You can get a little traction if you post it, but if you're not boosting is basically like paid social is the new organic in general, right? So Mark Zuckerberg knows how to make money. He knows that if you put a little money behind the video, you're going to get thousands more views. So he kind of makes it so you have to put the money behind. But one of the good things about boosting is it gets you in the geographical region of your dealership. So you can focus the boost around. And then everybody in the area for pennies sees your content. Boosting is like a double-edged sword, though. It drives your videos up with views and some engagement, but it doesn't grab people in. It does to some level, but people aren't really looking at your page if they're not trying to buy a car. They're not going, oh, let me go to, this Hyundai dealership and look at their social media because whatever. They're looking at it because they want to buy a car, right? So you get those people every 3 to 5 years really trying to look at your page, like go out of their way. So if you have a way to get in front of their face with like boosting, or what I've kind of transformed into doing is contests. Contests are really good because you could do like we're giving away a gas card, right? If you put a $500 budget behind a contest, so you do say $300 or $350 gas card and use $200 to boost that post. Now you have people right in your area. To enter the contest, you have to like the page, you have to follow the page, you have to like the post, you have to tag one of your friends that you're going to joyride in on the post, and you have to share the post to your stories. So if you do all those things, now you're entered to win the competition, the gas card. So the best content on social media is shareable content. So if you can get people sharing the content, you're going to get more people interacting with your page, more people following your page. And this is it's just an easy way to get those people interacting more than just because boosting, you'll get the video out there, but you won't really pull them in to interact. If you boost this post, you'll get it out in front of a ton of people who are going to start sharing it and get your page out there to more people and get you a lot more followers. So I've actually did a big hard pivot from a lot of boosting to a lot of competitions. With the social media.
Okay, that's good progress. Okay, Julian, you got to talk to me about this. So now you're creating leads basically off of this, right? Are these good leads? I mean, how do these go into the CRM? Who's calling these customers? How do you, what do you do? What do you do? How do you turn them into buyers?
How do we turn them into? Before that, I have a couple of points around content that maybe will be useful for all these guys. And I just remembered. So
yeah, let's hear it.
The first one is that I think people should strive to create balanced content. And what I mean is it can't all be selling. It can't all be storytelling. It can't all be for one specific
product
objective,
features.
But rather, right. But rather just look to attack from different angles and see what sticks with people, what they can relate to, right? And you can't always attack the bottom of the funnel. You got to start at the top and work your way down. I feel that sometimes people realize they're being sold to too hard, and that's a turnoff. For me as a customer, I don't like that. I hate that, and I don't want to have anything to do with that store or that brand once I detect that. So like a flag goes off for me.
Yeah, people can sniff it out.
Right. So I just wanted to make sure that was something that folks heard in
balanced
case
content.
This is something that they do.
That's a good that's good. That's good. That's a good takeaway. Right. And I think, you're constantly challenged to figure out all these different angles. And that's the ticket here is hit all the angles and start looking at the data and see what actually does work. Okay. Keep talking to us.
Yeah. And then one more thing. I think that people that generate content think that they get to people with the content. And I don't think that's true. They get to the people with their emotions. So you have to understand what emotions you're triggering or you're looking to trigger with your content and work on making that really compelling, really authentic. And if you're able to do that, you'll have a great content strategy. and you'll have a great fan base, and you'll have great engagement. So those were things that I wanted to make sure that I put out there. Now,
you got me thinking. So how would you chalk up the emotional connection you're going for when it comes to car buyers?
I feel that people feel so many things when they're buying a car. Some feel
Agreed.
fear,
It's a very
some feel
emotional,
confusion,
right?
some feel like it's daunting, scary. So I think we can use those. I think we can work towards alleviating those or making them aware that it's normal that they feel that way, and we can help them ease those fears,
I'm
those
with
pain
you on
points.
that. Okay. Because I don't typically see a lot of like dealership social media stuff talking about what you're saying. And quite frankly, I'm locked in on what you're saying because I just taught a class about this on the other side of it, where I say after day 3, so you got internet leads, you're over there trying to sell them, you're trying to find your pool of buyers because that's where they're at. And then if they just you just got to fire all areas of communication, content overload. And then after that, a lot of these people, they're just starting the research. So that stuff's not working. They're ghosting you. After 3 days, if they didn't hit you back, they're probably not in market buyers. These are people that we have to poke. And you can't keep selling them as crap. Nobody wants to hear that stuff. They're going to unsubscribe. So I say to them, change up your mindset. And the same thing with what you're saying for social media is start storytelling and talking about the fears of the buyer, the customer scenarios that people are in that keeps them remote. I'm always focused on the remote customer, trying to bring them in. And there's all these, these great moments where we've actually helped people get out of, they're in a tough credit situation. We got them approved. We got them a car. We got them wheels. What does the story look like? And maybe some of these quick little videos about customer experiences. Here's a scenario that this customer is in, and we're aligning them with what the customers have told us. A lot of times they talk to you one time, they tell you the story, I'm credit challenge, and then they ghost you. And it's like, let's just start some of the videos about maybe some other customers that we've been in the similar situations and tell them the success stories. But I think it does create an emotional connection that we're looking for that we typically don't see in the car business because we're trying to hawk car features.
Right.
So it's funny that you say that. I have something to say. So this is one of the reasons why leasing agencies are doing so well, because they're pulling those emotional strings with customers, and they're putting out those videos saying the car dealerships are horrible. The car dealership's going to bang you over the head. The car dealerships treat you like crap. Come to us. We're going to bring it right to your house. We're going to make you feel happy. We're going to make you enjoy the car buying experience. And I've seen a big shift in social media, kind of basically doing that same thing with the dealerships now. And so we're doing a lot more videos based on that, trying to pull those emotions out, and also saying why go to a leasing agent, because you're just getting a car for a higher price. They're saying they're giving you all this convenience stuff.
Yeah.
However, we could deliver it to your house too. And exactly.
Yeah.
They're all making the dealership's not getting rid of that car for less than 30K. So they're selling it to you for 30K, or they're selling it to the leasing agent for 30K. And now the leasing agent's tacking on 5K or 1K or whatever it is, and you're paying more. So we're starting to pull on those heartstrings too. And I think that's important. I love what you're saying there. I think that's an important thing for dealerships to hone in on and just be nice. Dealerships need to just be nice. Nicer,
that's
right?
True.
Be nice.
Exactly. So one of the things when we're doing social media content, we can't keep up with interactions in the messaging side. Right.
Okay.
So if we have every time we because here's the thing, I'm literally running like 130 profiles. Right.
Okay.
So I can't keep up. My team can't keep up with messages from 130 profiles. Right. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, where
130 profiles on like 5 or 6 different platforms. So multiply that by 5 or 6.
And wait a minute, doesn't the dealer feel the same way? Because we get these, Facebook ads, for example, they run a Facebook ad and then in comes all these messages. They put a car on Marketplace, in comes all these messages. They can't even get back to all this. And it's hard to decode who's who. Is this a real buyer? What is this? And especially when you run contests, I imagine you get a lot of people that pile up, and it's like, okay, wait a minute, what do we got here? It's like, how do you you don't want your manpower doing all of that.
Mm-hmm. And if we say DM us now for this deal, they DM us, and then we can't keep up with it, and the dealerships can't keep up with it. Right.
I've seen this.
So what happens is we say, click the link to our website. Now they click the link to the website and they get lost. They go to the website, they look around a little bit, they see something shiny pop up, they click on that, they go elsewhere. You know what I mean? So social media is a here and now. We want it now, in demand, on demand, right here. So to combat that, that's why we came up with cruise control. We were actually looking, when we started cruise control, we were actually going around looking for a company that could provide the service we needed, and there was none available. So we built it. Right. And what that is, there are platforms that work with Facebook. There are platforms that work with your website widget. Right. So we built it for Instagram. That's where we started. And that's what we needed. And that's what we were missing. Instagram is the hot platform. TikTok is good. Instagram is the hot platform. We're doing a lot of marketing on Instagram. TikTok is a little volatile. We're not sure if it's going to be here next week. We're not sure if we want to put money into it. Is it going to get canned? Is it going to get shut down? Is it going to get sold? So it's very volatile. So we didn't focus on TikTok. We focused on Instagram, and that was the platform that everybody's really putting their money on. Right. So we built on Instagram. After that, we have the website widget. We have Facebook. We have SMS. We have email, which is good because now you have a bot that you can put on your email account. You could blast out all 20,000 of your customers, not $20,000, 20,000 of your customers. And they all message your email, and the email auto replies. So you don't have to wait for BDC to get back to them, to not be sure about inventory. We scrape your inventory. We know what you have. We know what we can land them on. We also built it for WhatsApp because we have a lot of a lot of areas that are Latin speaking community or people that use WhatsApp that don't SMS. They use WhatsApp. So you can send out a blast, or you can promote, hey, WhatsApp us right now, and the WhatsApp will take them on a journey to land them on a vehicle and book the appointment. And that's what we're trying to do. So the cruise control is the bridge that connects what we do on social media and our efforts there with what the dealerships are doing in-house.
And we help them get results
by appointment. Yes.
At the end, we'll help them get results. So I wanted to give you guys this metaphor. I think of social media as this highway, as this information and content highway. And it has become faster and faster every month. Even like lately, things move so much quicker. People create so much content. There's so many more accounts, so many more trends. So it feels kind of overwhelming to consumers, and it feels even more overwhelming to businesses because they just don't know how to navigate it. And dealerships fall within that realm, right? So they know they need to do this to stay in business. They know they need to be effective, and they want to put out great content, but it's hard to manage the content and the interactions effectively on all of these channels and meet consumers where they are. I think that's so important. Sometimes businesses make the mistake of pushing customers where it's comfortable for them as a business and efficient. But I think we need to meet consumers where they live, where they interact, where they spend their attention and energy, and do it in a way that feels smooth. Like if you're driving
and natural.
Control. And that's what we do.
And that's what social media is. They want to message the platform and hear a response. They don't want to get pushed to the website and get lost. They want to ask a question and get the answer. And that's what we're doing now. And where the service has become so great and so robust, where we've added image support now. So if they ask about a vehicle and they want to know about the difference between a pickup truck and a Jeep Wrangler, we can send them a picture. If they want to know what the vehicle looks like, we send them a picture, right?
And the channel where they live, wherever they are.
Right on Instagram, right on Facebook, right on your website widget.
SMS.
And SMS. And also, we're about to launch comment replies. So the bot will read comments, and this is the top of the funnel. When you post something, people are commenting on the post. Oh, that's a cool video. Oh, I really like that car. Thank you very much. We're really interested in talking to you more. And we pull them into the DMs and interact with them more there. So this is the top of the funnel that the dealerships are really missing. That comment reply, that like on a comment, and trying to getting them to come into the DMs and start talking to you, and then booking the appointment. That's what we're focused on. This is that bridge that we've been working on, and we've been diligently making it more and more robust. We're super excited about it. So,
yeah, I you're right here with educating us on It's not even about the future. It's what's happening right now. And nobody wants to get left on the sidelines. You have to keep up with this stuff. Right? I mean, you got to keep up with this stuff. AI came in, it's all over everything, but it's like a lot of times people don't really realize how to use it, how to leverage it, and I think it's still a new form of communication. And then now a lot of our technology, we're incorporating pieces like this where, look, we fear the unknown. That's the truth. And it happens regularly in car dealerships. If there's always a piece of advice I say to people, try everything. How do you know it doesn't work? And be looking for people that are entrepreneurial because you're going to have to pivot and adapt. And just like you said, in just looking at all these social media platforms, they change their algorithms. They change behavior, consumer behavior changing so fast. How do you keep up on this stuff? We're trying to sell cars. We're trying to write service. We're trying to do business. And I like having somebody on my court that works just as hard as me.
Yeah, we're trying.
John and Julian, there you go.
Work hard.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop.
Bad boy.
This is why I always like you, John. I watch you do so many things in your life, and I am constantly impressed by your hustle. There is nobody working harder than you. Not only
Except
just
you.
building your company. Yeah, I do work. I could probably run toe to toe, but no, I've watched you, diversify, adapt, modify, just get out there and bring on more customers, find a way to scale, keep up with demand. It's really remarkable to see. And I see that you're very passionate about it. And I think that's the other equation, I think that's why sometimes we fall short, depending on dealership team members to do all this stuff for us. You can't just like find somebody at the store and be like, okay, this is your job. It's like, we're past that, this is too big of a situation to put on somebody's lap, that especially we're asking them to do other marketing campaigns, or we're asking them to sell cars or whatever it is. This is too big to not be left behind and not tap into and explore it and see how it's working. And this is what I say to dealers. If you're just going to keep on pushing things aside, believe me, the people that are willing to try something new, that are willing to step outside their comfort zone, these are the people that are going to excel. And they're not even just going to stomp on you. They're going to stomp you out.
Yeah, it's true.
Agreed.
Yeah. And everything we've built here is definitely from passion. Julian and I know each other from music, we created music
started doing music together.
Really?
Yeah,
in college.
and from there, everything that we've learned that we are doing now is we started doing because we wanted to get our music out there. You know what I mean? So everything is straight passion. And what we want to do is bring a better experience to our customers every step of the way. And we see a hole and we want to fill it and make a bridge that crosses to a path of betterness for, every step of the way. And so this is definitely, AI is where it's at, and it's constantly changing. We're supporting other languages too with it. So go ahead, Julian.
One thing I will say too is that as a consumer, I've always felt it very daunting to make a decision on what car works best for me, for my lifestyle, for my budget, for my preferences. And I think we also want to make that process more accessible, smoother, even fun for people. And that's also the other side of the coin. While we were building Cruise Control, we feel that there's a big gap in between me wanting a car and me buying a car. And there's a lot of stuff that happens in between that feels like a black box. And a lot of
sometimes
it is
months of stuff.
Right. So how can we help? How can we help make it smoother, easier? How can we get people engaged simply by just asking questions and having a conversation as if they had an expert in their pocket? And that's what we're becoming, because more data we collect, more conversations that we collect, more stores and more inventories that we collect, we're going to be able to refine more the product and just make it a lot smoother for consumers to help a decision and help them walk through that process so that it feels easier.
Yeah, even on follow-ups, we've implemented follow-ups, and we start to ask, like, what is it? What other vehicles are you looking at? What are the brands are you looking at? What are the models? You know what I mean? Why do you want this vehicle? We start to pre-qualify them, and then all that stuff gets pushed into the CRMs too. So it's all stuff that's helping the dealers understand the dynamic of why that client wants that car, and being able to move them on to something else if it does make more sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, those are real car buying questions. I teach them every day.
Yeah. I might have learned them from you.
Yeah. As many videos as we produced. Yeah. Anyway. But anyways, here's my big takeaway. And I find this a really fun conversation, very eye-opening, something in here for everybody in the stores. Social media, it's really not just about posting pretty pictures or pretty cars. This is about positioning your dealership to be right where that buyer wants to be. They already are at this location. They are hitting up all of these social media, apps, and they're creating content. We want to create content that's relevant, that's eye-popping, that's constantly evolving. And it's not the same old junk that was working 3 months ago or 6 months ago or a year ago, and you're using the latest tech, including AI, that actually moves the shoppers closer to buying, right? Mm-hmm. Popping them right in the CRM so we can work it.
Let's get it.
Boom.
Well, thank you guys for bringing so much knowledge today. You guys are, hopefully our listeners here are ready to rethink that social media game. And today I gave you a little bit of a roadmap here. And so, yeah, keep learning, everybody. Keep testing, keep connecting with your customers in a way that matters.
Cool. Thank you very much for having us on, Jen.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much. It's been a lot of fun. Great to be here.
And by the way, I'm going to put your contact info in the show notes. So if anybody wants to reach out to these guys, I vouch for them. I'll put the contact info, ask them questions. Super. If there's one thing I know, John is literally in dealerships as much as I am. He sees everything. He's front line.
Just got back
does
from one
all
today.
The jobs. Did he? Of course he did. He's doing all the jobs. But he's locked in and he's a great resource. So hit him up.
Appreciate it. All right, cool.
Use him.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks.
Welcome to Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki, where inspiration meets action. This is your spot to grow, level up, and lead with fresh ideas. From sales to service, from frontline teams to executives, we're dropping weekly knowledge and insight to keep your store sharp, relevant, and profitable. Let's get into it.